Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Sports Medicine, offering services for sports injury and recovery, with physicians and athletic trainers who provide treatment for fractures, dislocations, sprains, strains, and other sports-related issues. More information on services at stalphonsus.org. Love Boise State Public Radio podcasts? They are free to enjoy, but not free to produce. If you can give, your support helps keep shows like Idaho Matters and Scandalize available to everyone. Donate now at boisestatepublicradio.org.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. This morning we have the stories from Idaho's trans community, wondering what their future is in the Gem State. And we'll tell you about proposed railroad quiet zones in Canyon County. It is Tuesday, the 7th of April. Here we go with today's stories. We have new job numbers this morning. Idaho's unemployment rate has ticked up to 3.7%. The State Department of Labor reporting that the state's participation rate has gone down. That's the number of people either employed or looking for work. The construction, administration, waste management, and real estate job sectors all saw job decreases. Adams County has the highest jobless rate in Idaho, 6.6%, followed by Clearwater and Benewah counties. Oneida County has the lowest unemployment rate, 2.5%. The majority of the Idaho legislature this year approved and the governor signed into law some of the most restrictive laws in the U.S. targeting transgender individuals. Effective July 1st, it will be a crime for transgender people to use restrooms that do not match their sex assigned at birth. For some, that means living in Idaho is simply not tenable anymore. Julie Lucatov spoke to one woman at a turning point.
Lexi Menhart is a barista and a music administrator at Cathedral of the Rockies in downtown Boise. For her safety and peace of mind, she will be moving out of Idaho in July when her lease ends and just as the new law goes into effect.
The idea of leaving has just been heart-wrenching. It's been so difficult.
Anticipating things will get worse for trans people in Idaho, she is headed to Seattle.
I am making this decision now so that it doesn't feel like I'm fleeing in the future. I don't want to live somewhere where laws are being created to criminalize who I am.
Under HB 752, a first-time offense can lead to a misdemeanor, a second one to felony charges, and up to 5 years in prison.
It makes me have to choose between risking a criminal penalty to use the restroom or risking my own personal safety, because as soon as I go into a men's room, I'm outing myself and putting myself in an extremely dangerous situation.
While she's found support and community in Boise, she says being trans in Idaho can be scary.
To be harassed and to be ridiculed for simply having to go to the bathroom and existing as a trans person. That's just not a reality that I want to live in.
Menhart already has to be cautious in public. She's experienced people following her into stores and strangers asking her about her genitalia.
There are some people that feel like they have the right to antagonize you just for who you are. So I'm looking forward to maybe not dealing with so much of that anxiety in Washington.
Menhart wishes folks understood she lives a very normal life. She goes to church, she goes to work, and she's a student with friends, family, and aspirations.
My identity as a woman is the only identity that I've ever known. And I can only explain that with the lens that I was created this way by God, just as we were all created to be who we are.
A recent UCLA School of Law analysis found fewer than 1% of U.S. adults are transgender, but trans folks are 4 times more likely to be victims of a violent crime than cis people. Julie Lucetta, Boise State Public Radio News.
Caldwell Mayor Eric Phillips issued 2 vetoes last Thursday. Vetoes of City Council-approved railroad quiet zones. But Phillips said this week those rejections now face legal pushback. Jackson Holmes tells us more.
Mayor Phillips originally vetoed the council's decision to move forward with the construction of a railroad quiet zone. The project would reduce train horns at 7 railroad crossings in Caldwell and would add safety infrastructure at those crossings. City Councilor Scott Tillman requested a legal review. In his legal memorandum, City Attorney Oscar Klaas wrote the vetoes were not legal because the council voted on a resolution rather than an ordinance. Idaho Code outlines mayoral veto power only extends to statutes and ordinances. In light of the legal opinion, Phillips withdrew his vetoes and proposed Caldwell City Council strike discussion of overriding the mayor's veto from the agenda of Monday's meeting. In his statement on the vetoes, Phillips cited safety fears and said he didn't think the proposed safety measures would make up for the safety risks caused by reduced train horns. Phillips also said the project's budget of $400,000 was an unnecessary cost. Phillips wrote in a Monday Instagram post that he remains concerned about safety and costs. He added he worries the additional infrastructure would decrease parking availability. Jackson Holmes, Boise State Public Radio News.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. Stay informed, stay connected. We are here at BoiseStatePublicRadio.org and on the Boise State Public Radio app, and we will be here on Wednesday for another Connector. I'm George Prentice. Thanks for listening.
If you like podcasts like this, explore more from the Boise State Public Radio podcast family. There you'll find a mix of daily news, Idaho Voices, and in-depth series on a wide range of topics. I'm talking wild horses, political scandals, sustainable ranching, and militia groups in a post-January 6th world. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Boise State Public Radio to find what Idaho's NPR station has in store for you.